Hey, what's up, y'all? Miss QT Style back at you again. And I just decided to do I guess, a book review, of course, on the book that I'm reading, which is Mama Ruby by Mary Monroe. This book cost me $16 and I believe 97 cents because it was 30% over here off of the $24 that it really is. Okay, so I'm going to just get right into the book. The book is based in Shreveport, Louisiana, and New Orleans, Louisiana. Mary Monroe, this is her back here, and she has written the books God Ain't Through Yet, God Ain't Blind, God Don't Play, God Don't Like Ugly, God Still Don't Like Ugly, and also the sequel to this book, The Upper Room, which I'll be reading after this one. Now, this book has been out a while, but I just got it to read it. Okay, and the book is basically based around these two characters. The chick right here in the suspenders, her name is Othella, and she is the daughter of what they call a whore back in the day, a prostitute, and she has brothers and sisters that she pretty much raised because her mom was too busy being a whore. Her mom is um her mom her mom's dad is also her grandpa. So her mom's dad was her grandpa and raped her mom. So they come from a whole line of what you call that, dysfunctionalism, I guess, if that's a word. Ruby, the plump girl right here, her she's the seventh daughter of seven girls, so they consider her to be lucky. Her father is a preacher, and her mom is preacher's wife, and they come from a not a rich black family, but a little more upper class family than her. Okay, and her dad, Ruby's dad, did not want her hanging out with this girl because she was a daughter of a whore. Come to find out in the later on down the line, Ruby's father was a client of her mother. He was visiting a whorehouse and acting like he's going there for to heal people or whatever, pastors do. But anyway, Ruby is not so cute, and she's a plum girl. She's what they call a pickaninny and all of that. Well, she messed around with a lot of little guys in the neighborhood, including Othella's brother. She ended up pregnant. Long story short, she hid her pregnancy from 9 months because she was already plump, so nobody didn't know she was pregnant. She hid her pregnancy for 9 months, and she delivered the baby at Othella's house, which Othella's mom brought her pimps or her tricks to the house. So it was a whorehouse, basically. But anyway, she had the baby there, and Othella and her mother, I forgot what her mother name, it started with an S, they supposedly gave Ruby's baby to an orphanage because they tried to convince Ruby not to keep the baby and everything because her father would be mad and da 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 da. Long story short, they gave the baby away. Othella and Ruby ended up running away, or they was going to run away, but after Othella brought Ruby to the house when her father was there with Ruby's mama to catch him with Othella's mom to catch him in the act. So that would be a way for the preacher to let his daughter go, because they was very strict on Ruby. So of course he let his daughter go to New Orleans because he didn't want Ruby to tell mom. So anyway, they ended up in New Orleans, and they thought they was going to have a better life. They were supposed to be going to New Orleans to find husbands, but they ended up working for a whorehouse. They ended up, Ruby cut this man's penis off because the man was trying to, I'm not going to get into detail, molest, anyway, Othella. Ruby ended up getting into some trouble because while she was in a whorehouse, she was supposed to just be the maid and all, but one client ended up wanting a so-called virgin, and she knew a trick on how to be a virgin, but they tried to do this trick on several men. On the eighth man, they were sorry because that eighth man knew she was not a virgin, so he beat her. So of course Ruby didn't like white people. She went to his house and beat him. So basically they was in New Orleans cutting up, running for their life from whorehouse to whorehouse. But finally and this is the chapter I'm on now, 49, Othella gets pregnant, and Anyway, they got put out of the last whorehouse they were in. They worked for a white lady who was really nice to them, but she had to let them go because of that last gentleman was an upper class lawyer or what have you, who beat the hell out of Ruby and out of the madam of the house. So she had to let them go, but she kind of got attached to them and stuff. And so basically I'm on chapter 49 when they put them out, and Fannie Mae, which is another prostitute who worked there, a white lady, was driving them around in New Orleans, and finally she had to drop them off near a circus. So that's the chapter I'm on right now. So, you know, I skipped some parts in the book, but it's a really, really good, good book, and I can't wait to read this book right here. The Upper Room. I don't know if you can see. I guess that's Ruby right there, but that's the sequel to this book right there, to this book right here. So yeah, basically that's where I'm at. Of course, oh, you guys, look at my my bookmark. This is a bookmark I got in a swap when I first came on YouTube from Lady Smash 711. It's like a little crown, and I still got it. Question and answer back here. I'm going to answer one of the questions. It says, do you think that if Ruby's overly religious parents hadn't been so strict, she would not have been so promiscuous and eager to be part of Othello's wild crowd? I would have to say a big yes. I think when you shelter kids and you keep them from this and that, it just makes them more curious. So I would say yes. If this video would record long, I will go ahead and answer some more and give you, well, let me see if it'll go. The next question was, by hiding her pregnancy for the entire 9 months, Ruby jeopardized her health as well as her babies. Do you think she would have told at least one person she was pregnant in case she had some serious complication? Do you think she should have? Yeah, I do think she should have, because, I mean, she's lucky she had a healthy baby, and especially back in those days. But yeah. But anyway, that's it. That's my little review, or whatever you want to call it, on this book by Mama Ruby, and I'm about to finish it. Oh, and if you've read this book, give me your opinion on what you think about it. And if you haven't read it, I would recommend that you get it and read it, because it's a good book.